You got to check out what this guy says here, and then I'm going to give you the Sasquatch perspective.
But again, these things. I mean, let me just say this: if these things are responsible for one person being chopped up and ripped apart and ate, I think they all need to die. I think if there's something out there that can run 35 miles an hour and weighs 1,000 pounds and want to be quiet and are quiet when they can be quiet and can break trees as big as that oak that we just talked about, these things don't need to be running around. They need to be kept in check. I mean, I know that probably is not popular, but I just don't feel that these things need to be out there. And I don't feel that they're natural. They're not like any other animal we have on the face of the earth.
Let me tell you what's not like any other animal that you have on the face of the earth, and that is human beings. These hairless, very delicate, vulnerable creatures who need to stick together, who can't exist by themselves, who would certainly perish if it weren't for their carnivorous, genocidal ways in which they can go in and just take out selectively an entire species, an entire group of people, whatever it may be. I mean, Bigfoot's minding its own business in regards to that compared to the warfare of humanity and just the decimation of the planet. I mean, what do you think makes animals go extinct from the planet? It's human technology. It's exploitation of resources. There's a lot of things that are going to be going into this that you need to consider. But I mean, to think that the Sasquatch are the oddball of the group, you got to understand, actually, they're more akin to this earth than you are, human being. What are you anyway, human being? Do you even know what human beings are? You assuredly didn't just come up on this planet. Let me tell you that. You would be covered in hair if you were left outside to evolve, supposedly, on this planet. But no, that's not true. We were put here. Okay, so we're different than anything else. And letting your fear rule, that's the problem with humanity. Leading with fear, having actions based on fear, fear-based actions. It's the worst decision making you can do when you're scared. You're going to make bad decisions. And that's what's going on here. Just some fear. So you can be scared of Sasquatch all you want, and it's completely understandable. But I mean, to just say they should all be eradicated is like just the same way that they'll say, oh, we need to get rid of these whatever group, stick a label on you, and then dismiss you and flush you down the toilet. It's really a problem with the overall thinking of humanity and humankind. There's definitely some flaws in the human mind. You need to analyze yourself. You need to psychoanalyze yourself, the human experience, what's wrong with it, what's going wrong, why does it go wrong, how are we conditioned to do the wrong thing, what are we not getting, you know what I mean? You got to look at these things really closely, all these little idiosyncrasies that are what makes the difference between the experience. So, love, hate, you know what I mean? What are you really supporting? The dichotomy where you need to understand where that line is drawn of good and bad, right versus wrong, and a lot of people think they're in the right and they find themselves on the wrong side of that line. So I think that's where this guy's finding himself, is on the wrong side of that line. And you need to think twice about who is really the oddball on this planet and who's really hurting this planet and who's really hurting who this planet is for. I know Christianity actually talks that this planet is for mankind and that you could have dominion over the creatures of this earth. You know, you could take that right into interpretation, and you'd have to go back to the Greek and the Hebrew to even understand the original meaning of what the whitewashed King James Version is even really saying about that. But there may be the truth in there, and I'm not disputing it. What I'm saying is look deeper into what it really means. Look deeper. Maybe maybe Sasquatch is in the Bible, pardon me. There's a channel, Jay Carlson. I always love this guy. He always comes and leaves me really great comments and tells me long stories, but he says Sasquatch is Isu from the Bible. And I mean, all these theories are interesting to consider and weigh against each other. I don't think Bigfoot is the Nephilim, as one of these guys here in the interview says, not the one speaking, but his brother-in-law. But, you know, I've got reasons for that. The Sasquatch don't have 6 fingers and 6 toes. They don't have a written language. They're not using metal tablets. The Nephilim mummified their dead. But could Sasquatch be a creation from the time when the Nephilim ruled the world and were corrupting all DNA, hence the reason for the Great Flood? And we know Bigfoot are great swimmers. Yeah, put the pieces together. It sure could be like that. I have a book, Edgar Casey, and it's all these readings from him concerning Atlantis. Every little paragraph, he might have even touched on somebody's life reading and mentioned just for a paragraph or a couple sentences about Atlantis. Those are in the book, but he talks about a slave race that was created. These creatures had emotions and feelings, and they were like part animal, and he said essentially that, you know what I mean, they fled to the forest and got away. And I mean, who knows what is out there? Who knows what is left? What remnants? Just like we might attribute Bigfoot to being the Neanderthal. It's interesting considering we even have Neanderthal DNA in us. I mean, most of us, I think, a lot of the white man especially, but you could do the statistics on that. But it's in the human DNA, the Neanderthal DNA. So that's really interesting to think about. So there's so many things, but do we need to eradicate every Sasquatch? No, I think the government's already taken care of the pretty bad ones. But yeah, are they taking people? I always advocate they probably are, and David Paulides isn't telling us the whole story. So that's a whole nother topic right there. But hey, he'll tell you just by his book, and that's that. But I want him to address the issue himself verbally, because he has a lot of pull, and a lot of people just blindly listen to some of these guys like How to Hunt and David Paulides and thinking that, oh yeah, these guys are giving you all the info. They tell you everything. They tell you just enough to get you to follow them. But, you know, I don't ever see Steve out there doing research videos. He's always in a nice, safe place on a mountain peak far away from anything dangerous, you know, wherever he is on the highway. I don't know where he is, but like I said, yeah, he's not in the thick of it where there's, you know, bush around and Sasquatch structures. And David, he gets out there and goes to these locations. But I mean, like, tell us the truth. Obviously that those are going to be Bigfoot locations. Or talk about Dogman. David Paulides said he doesn't even believe in Dogman. So I'm like, call people out on their bullshit, you know? Sorry for the foul language drop, but I think you can say that on TV now anyway. So, you know, deal with it. So you got to just, the truth is the truth, okay? So be careful who you're believing, and be careful what you advocate, because they got shows on TV talking about shooting Bigfoot now, and Oklahoma Congress people talking about Bigfoot hunting season. And I'm gonna have to take some notes, because I'm actually planning on doing an interview here pretty quick, and I want to drop some interesting topics like this on these guys. And not enough people really watch my videos to think about these topics, but I might get it out there to the masses through their Facebook outlets and all that. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for considering these things, and if you would, please don't shoot a Bigfoot unless you have to. Thanks. Have a nice day.